Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's ASCII here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Curse of Naxxramas, Hearthstone's first adventure mode. Set in the Scourge necropolis of Naxxramas, this adventure is set over 5 wings, with each wing representing one of the raid instances from World of Warcraft. The Curse of Naxxramas is designed to give the player tough, unique and interesting encounters with bosses that are essentially unbalanced and described by the developers as totally unfair and totally brutal. While the boss's decks still only contain 30 cards, they're not subject to the 2 copies of 1 card rule that the player is, and often feature up to 6 copies of a single card, as well as special cards only they have access to. On top of this, they're also able to use any cards in the game and are not bound by class restrictions, and lastly, to make matters worse, they're using a weighted coin that always lets them go second. The normal mode bosses are not too bad and will likely be beaten by an average to good deck after a few attempts. However, heroic mode will take a little bit more thought. The bosses here have boosted hero powers with lower mana costs and more powerful effects, and extra HP making them tougher to bring down. They also employ other mechanics such as having minions already on the field before the match has even begun. These heroic bosses will likely all require custom built decks to defeat, and when creating these decks the main thing to take into account is their hero power and what the best way to counter it is. However, defeating these bosses will bring with it rewards. 30 new cards have been released alongside the Curse of Naxxramas, and you'll be rewarded with them as you defeat each boss on normal mode, and defeating the final boss in each wing will earn you a legendary card. Heroic mode will become available once you defeat the boss in normal mode, and only by defeating all of the bosses in heroic can you unlock a new card back. You can also unlock class specific cards by completing class challenges, in which you use a predetermined deck which is never fully revealed to the player at any point, making it often quite unpredictable the first time you play with it. These decks are also not subjected to the 2 cards of 1 type rule, and will contain both the card you will unlock upon victory, as well as other cards from the adventure mode that may not be available to collect at this point. These encounters are designed in a way that will show you how the new card can be used in combination with other cards you already have, as well as giving another new and interesting experience. As I mentioned before, 30 cards have been added with the adventure, and most of these have a theme based around death, which is fitting seeing as the whole thing is set in the lair of a necromancer. Of the 30, about half of them have death rattles, some of which add good effects, for example summoning another minion onto the battlefield, whereas for some others the death rattle is more of a negative for the player who played it, for example giving your opponent card draw. These negative death rattles are designed to balance out cards that have higher stats than the mana cost would normally allow. If you're planning on using many of these negative death rattles in your own deck, it's a good idea to bring along some silence as well. This will allow you to remove these negative effects before they die, giving potential for some fantastic value. As for the other new cards which don't have death rattles, they often have death based themes, either supporting or getting support from other minions' death rattles or just being undead monsters. Each wing must be purchased with either 700 gold or a real money equivalent, and they'll be released on a week by week schedule. The first wing was released free to everyone for the first month, and there are discounts available for buying the wings in bundles. This allows the player to choose how many wings they want to pay real money for and how many with in-game gold. The discounts range in value but generally offer between 25 and 30% of the price of buying them all individually, making it definitely worthwhile if you want to buy the whole lot. The Curse of Naxxramas is the first of hopefully a whole series of Hearthstone adventure modes. However, we do know most of the new cards were already designed before Hearthstone's March release, and many months of development went into it, so how regular these adventure packs will be is still a mystery, but so far it looks to be a success. Keep up to date with all things Hearthstone by checking out hearthstone.gamepedia.com, which is linked in the description. Remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment below if you have anything to add. Thank you for watching.